You stand at the edge of the world, the Mongolian steppe, a land where silence reigns, where wind cuts through the soul, and only the strong survive. From this endless sea of grass, a boy would rise and change the fate of nations forever. His name was Temujin, but history would remember him as Genghis Khan, a man born with nothing, destined to command everything. Before the world feared his armies, he was just a child fighting to survive another night. Temujin was born around 1162 in a world of tribes constantly at war. Power was survival. Mercy was weakness. When his father was poisoned by a rival clan, Temujin's family was cast out, left to die in the wilderness. He was only 9 years old. Imagine it. No food, no allies, no home. He hunted small animals, ate roots, and watched as his family slowly starved. But in that harsh silence, something inside him hardened. The boy who had lost everything began to dream of unity, a dream no Mongol had ever dared to imagine. Years passed. Temujin was captured and enslaved by a rival tribe. They bound him in a wooden collar, forcing him to crawl like an animal. But he escaped, using his cunning and the help of a single sympathetic guard. From that moment he knew, loyalty could not be demanded. It had to be earned. Temujin began to gather men, not by fear, but by respect. He rewarded loyalty, punished betrayal, and treated even the lowest soldier as a brother. In a land ruled by chaos, this was revolutionary. Tribes that had fought for centuries began to listen. A whisper spread across the steppe. The wolf is rising. He married his childhood love, Borta, who would become his greatest supporter and the mother of his sons. But soon, she was kidnapped by a rival clan, the Merkits. Temujin called upon his allies for help. Together, they launched a daring rescue. Borta was saved. And in that moment, Temujin proved something vital. Unity brought victory. More tribes joined him, drawn by his vision of a single Mongol nation. But unity comes at a cost. His old friend Jamuka, who once fought beside him, turned against him. The steppe erupted into civil war. Brother fought brother. Temujin's camp burned, his men scattered. But through defeat, he learned the greatest lesson of war. Mercy breeds strength. When Temujin finally captured Jamuka, he did not torture him. He offered peace. Jamuka refused, choosing death instead. Temujin buried him with honor, the mark of a true Khan. In 1206, at the age of 44, Temujin united all Mongol tribes under one banner. He took a new title, Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler. The tribes roared his name as drums echoed across the plains. For the first time in history, the Mongols were one. But peace was never the end. It was only the beginning. Genghis Khan looked outward, to China, Central Asia, the Islamic empires, and beyond. He saw not nations, but opportunities, and he believed the world itself could be conquered. His first target was the powerful Xia kingdom. The Mongol armies moved like shadows, fast, disciplined, and ruthless. They crushed cities that resisted, yet spared those who surrendered. Fear became their weapon. Word spread. To resist the Khan was to invite destruction. Next came the Jin dynasty, the rulers of northern China. Their armies numbered in the hundreds of thousands, protected by great walls and fortresses. But walls mean nothing to a storm. The Mongols breached their defenses, flooded their cities, and forced the emperor to flee. The Mongol Empire was now the largest military machine on earth. Then, Genghis Khan turned west. He sent envoys to the Khwarezm Empire, seeking trade and friendship. But the Shah of Khwarezm made a fatal mistake. He executed the envoys. spitting on Mongol diplomacy. To Genghis Khan, that was unforgivable. What followed was vengeance on an unimaginable scale. The Mongol armies swept across Central Asia, leaving entire cities in ruin. The Shah fled into the desert and died alone, hunted by an empire he had provoked. For Genghis Khan, justice was absolute. But behind the terror, there was strategy and vision. He built one of the first systems of international communication, relay stations, mounted couriers, and coded messages carried across thousands of miles. The Mongol Empire connected the East and West centuries before the Silk Road flourished. Trade, ideas, and culture began to move freely across continents. By the 1220s, the Mongol banners flew from the Pacific Ocean to the Caspian Sea. No empire in history had grown so vast, so fast. And at its heart stood one man, not a king by birth, but by will. Yet even legends must face mortality. In 1227, during a campaign against the Western Xia, Genghis Khan fell ill, or perhaps was wounded. The exact cause remains a mystery. Before his death, he gave a final order. To conquer the world is easy. To rule it, that is the true challenge. Then he was gone. His body was buried in secret, somewhere in Mongolia. No one knows the location to this day. His funeral procession killed all who saw it, ensuring the secret remained forever hidden. The earth itself swallowed the Khan, but death could not erase his shadow. After his passing, his sons and grandsons continued his mission. Within a generation, they conquered Russia, Persia, and most of China. Kublai Khan, his grandson, would become Emperor of China and found the Yuan dynasty. The world had truly changed. And yet, Genghis Khan's legacy is more than conquest. He established laws protecting trade, religious freedom, and women's rights. He abolished torture, rewarded merit, and united diverse peoples under one rule. To some, he was a monster. To others, a visionary. Today, historians still debate his morality, but not his impact. He redrew the map of the world, and his empire laid the foundation for modern global connection. Even centuries later, 1 in every 200 men carries his genetic legacy. His blood runs through history itself. He proved that greatness is not born of comfort, but struggle. That unity can rise from chaos. The winds of Mongolia still whisper his name. Listen closely. You'll hear it too.